Okay, I think we're in business now. I did find, it was just under another couple of papers. I did find my copy, and looking at the output, yeah, there's still a lot of extra output here. But you know what? I think I'm going to leave it for now because there's still room for error with the stack implementation of print debug. Except print debug, that's a pretty standard function to have. So I'm going to copy that. I think I am. Command C and Command V. Make a copy of it, but we'll need another one. Print reverse, or abbreviate, print rev debug. So this will print out the stack backwards. At least that's the plan. And it's easier to print out an array backwards than it is to print out a list backwards. So I'm going to optimistically put backwards here and set up an array, a temporary array of type data type, of course, not SATA, but data. And I'll call this temp stack because that's what it is. Temp stack contents. Now I don't know how many things are in there. I doubt seriously that they'll type 1,000. And I heard you gasp and say, "Oh my goodness, Dr. England, you can't assume there's no more than 1,000, and you can't use something that's not a symbolic constant." Here's my license to do that. This is not an official card-carrying member of the stack class, print debug. So I'm left to my own evil devices what I do in the debug functions because they're only temporarily members of the stack class anyway. So if I want to say there's only going to be up to 1,000 words and I'm going to not use a symbolic constant, that's my business. Y'all can worry about other things. Well, no, I don't mean to be flippant about it. We'll all worry about it. Just if it's well, I've already said that. I won't say it again. So what do I want to do here? I probably, if I'm going to print out the stack backwards, I probably also want to know how many things are in there. Int value count equals 0. And what? I need to loop. This stuff is just all in the way right now. I'll keep the C out. I'll probably still need that. But I need to loop through the entire stack. A for loop can go through the entire stack. This will be wild and crazy, and I apologize for that. I don't know a better way to do it. Node star temp. I was going to use I'll use temp. And initialize that to the top of the stack. So now I've got a pointer to the top of the stack as the initialization statement on my for loop. As long as temp points at something, as long as temp is non-zero, I'll keep going. And at the bottom of the loop, I set temp equal to temp, not plus plus, but temp arrow next. You might want to back this up 10 seconds over and over again to see what the hey is going on here. This is a for loop, but rather than going through indices 0, 1, 2, 3, and so forth, this is going to inchworm its way through our entire stack, starting at the top and going as long as it doesn't run into a 0 pointer. What am I going to do inside the loop? I'm going to say temp stack contents, dual purpose variable, square bracket value count, wherever I am initially 0, equals temp arrow value. I'm copying, what I'm doing is copying the values out of the list into an array, and I need to increment value count so that it goes to the next index next time. Oh my goodness, that's ugly, but I think it's legit. Now, this should copy all of the stack contents as it marches through until it runs into the 0 at the pointer in the next array element and the next array element. So it doesn't seem like there's any advantage because temp stack contents is also backwards. Ugly, ugly, but here's what I can do. For int I, this will be a normal for loop, almost, equals value count. If value count is 6, then the last index is 5. So I need to initialize I to value count minus 1, believe it or not. And instead of as long as I is less than value count, I'm going to stop at 0. As long as as long as it is still greater than 0, I need to keep going. If I can find the equals. Oh, come on. And instead of plus plus I, I'm going to minus minus I. What am I doing here? I'm probably setting myself up for egregious errors. But the intent is to start the index number at the last value stored in the array, moving backwards. So I'm going to move backwards as long as I is at least 0. I will decrement and print out the previous thing in the array, or so I claim. Cout temp stat contents, square bracket I, and I'll separate them with blanks. And when I'm done, I'll print out the inline. If this gets all off the ground in one try, I'm going to buy a lottery ticket on the way home. Command S. So now I want to print. Oh, I don't have, you know what? I don't have a prototype, and it's time for the lab. So I'm going to have to stop the video right here, and I'll pick up soon.